Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report because without you guys, well, this just does not work. So, guys, here we are, another Monday night, and X Factor is the first one in the house. Welcome to the house, man. X Factor, how you doing, man? Um, Backwoods Boxing, Bong Thomas, um, Jalen, Kevin, J Dynasty. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate all the love. I'm glad somebody enjoys the videos, man. Um, Jalen, man, just living the dream, man. I got to tell you, I look forward to Mondays, which is hard to believe because I just love being here with you guys, man. Because this, for me, is fantastic. Sorry to hear that you got the flu bug, Trey, man. Um, Take care of that thing, man, because I had that. My dad literally almost died from it, man. It's no joke. So, Michael's over here. He's happy. He got some new subscribers. Congrats. Two new subscribers for Michael Anthony's page. That's fantastic. But listen, okay, now that Michael's interrupting here, um, I owe some of you guys an apology. You guys know we had these terrible storms that came through the other day and literally knocked out power. Still, some people are without power. I'm still, fortunately, recovered and everything from it. And we ended up doing our live stream. Damn it, I just dropped half of these. Excuse me for 1 second here. Did a live stream, basically half in the dark by candlelight. Um, and doing it on my cell phone, I couldn't see the super chats. Now, a bunch of you guys have come through. Dropped one. There's one more down here. Have come through on super chats, and we're going to get back to doing the drawings. I told you guys about at least yesterday. We started planning for the draft, guys. We are going to do something really, really big. We are actually renting an RV and we are doing a draft or bus tour where we're leaving Northern Virginia and we're driving to the draft and we're going to be set up at the draft and it's going to be Draft Central at AT&T Stadium. And here's what's funny. Now, guys, now this just literally came in. Okay, this is I'm talking to all kinds of YouTubers. We're talking about Law Nation's going to be part of it, and I'm actually working on Shango just text messaged me, and I'll get back to him on that text message because I want to see if there's a way that we can get him involved. We're going to have Ari Templin. You've seen him here on the show a couple times. He's going to be coming by. We're going to be having some other personalities that are going to be by, but we're going to set up, check this out, a 14-foot projection screen TV outside. We're going to be having Joe Boo wings. We're going to be having Bang Bang sliders. We're going to be having buckets of Jobu's Mojo Punch. We're going to make it one of the best events that hopefully that any of you guys will have been to. This will be the ultimate tailgate. And because of you guys and your support, that's how I was able to go ahead and do the new studio and stuff from donations and things like that. And I want to feel like I'm giving something back. So what we're actually doing over here on this other side, I don't have the screen all the way up over here, but I have these pieces that I ended up getting from the old Texas Stadium. They were letters that were hanging up from the stadium, and some of them had fallen down and broken into several pieces. And I was there before they demolished it with my wife, and I hopped the fence and I grabbed some of those things. And so I brought those back. I ended up building the box that I have over there, one for my dad, one for my son, and all that, and still have some other pieces. So tonight at 9:30 we'll do a drawing for that one, and I've got some more pieces, so I'll continue to do those. We'll also be giving away some Jobu T-shirts and stuff. So that's where you're seeing kind of flashing on here. If you anybody that does a donation or does a super chat, which is all going to go to help fund the draft trip, you're going to be entered for our drawing. And so let me acknowledge everybody who helped out. Um, Tommy Donnelly, he's been MIA. He's actually supposed to go with us on the road trip. We actually have a sacrificial giant fan that's going to be going with us as well. And we've got Foots is going, Cowboys Nation. He's going to be going with us. We're going to have Law Nation. He's in Dallas, is going to be meeting us there. I've got John Gardner. You've seen him here. DMV Blue. So we're going to be having a ball. And anybody who's in Dallas and going to the draft, I wanted you guys, excuse me, to stop by and be part of it. But let me go ahead and get these into the pot. Lieutenant Mathers, he ended up doing a donation for us during the super chat. Jeremy Allison, he donated. Thank you very much, Jeremy. That's going to be put to good use. You just bought a whole bucket full of Mojo Punch for the thing. Law Nation, he contributed. That's my boy. And Law Nation, he is blowing things up. He is actually going to be doing a live stream soon in Dallas. Chaz J, you're always helpful. I appreciate that, Chaz. Cowboys X Factor. Cowboys X Factor actually gave me that sign over there early this past season. And Matt just ended up adding in there, sign you up. So, Matt, you guys are going to keep me busy. We're going to get to talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Matt is joining the drawing. EB, Adam Waynes, and Domingo. So all of you people have now been added to the drawing, and I appreciate this. The reason we are going to be able to do this draft party is because of you guys. Now on to our Dallas Cowboys. Just a little bit ago, Cowboys X Factor, I've already got you in the bucket now. I can't double you down now, dog, but I appreciate it. DeMarcus Lawrence just signed the franchise tag. So what that means is basically the only way somebody else can get him is to give up 2 number ones, and that has actually never happened in franchise tag history. So he's locked down. Now that gives the Dallas Cowboys time to work out a long-term contract, basically until the 17th of July. Now, right now, it's $17.5 million is what his salary is scheduled to be for this season. We don't want to pay him that much on the cap this season because we need some cap space. We're going to end up tendering David Irving. So that's going to be another $3.5 million right there. So right now, we got 0 cap space unless we start cutting some people. Now, here's what's interesting to me. I always try to read between the lines. Is the sound okay tonight, guys? I've been working on tweaking this thing. Hopefully, I've got it right for you guys. We're actually not going to do call-ins tonight, Cowboys talk. I've got my buddies calling in here in 5 minutes so we can go over the combine and stuff. But on Friday's show, we definitely will be doing some. I always say read between the lines and listen very carefully to what people say. Now, everybody's going, saying that Jerry Jones says Dez Bryant's coming back. It's done and it's over with. Yeah, okay. How many times has Jerry Jones said something and it ended up not being right? You could go back and say, oh, glad to hear the sound's good. Thank you. Finally, the money we spent on the mixer is finally paying off. You could probably go back to DeMarcus Ware, and the same thing was probably being said, that we want DeMarcus Ware back. But here is the problem. You got Stephen Jones, who's kind of put him on notice that it's a business decision. Business decision means it's about money. He talks about sideline antics and being distractions. Being accountable. Okay. Yeah, we got all that. Now, Jerry Jones says, I want Dez Bryant back. Let me make sure you get that straight. I got to tell you, there's a lot of things I want. I want a brand new truck, with all the bells and whistles. I want to have the Jobu man cave. But want and going to be are 2 different things. Because you want to go ahead and re-sign a free agent. You want to re-sign him. That means you are risking losing him. Dez Bryant's not a free agent. Dez Bryant has a contract. Dez Bryant is locked up for the next 2 years. So the only reason why Dez Bryant isn't here is because you don't want him here, or you want to take what you've already promised him. See my point there? Yes, he wants him to be back, but under his terms. And his terms, we've already heard from Dez Bryant saying, you know what? I'm not taking a pay cut. Same thing that DeMarcus Ware said. And right now, here's the Dallas Cowboys. No cap room. Next Monday, teams can start talking to players. Are we going to go the route of the Nolan Carrolls and DeMontre Moores and the Cedric Thorntons? I think Jobu needs a refill on that one. Because if that's the plan, we're going to continue to have some holes in the team. Because I believe the team needs to be bold. I think we need to get away from these bargain basement guys because you get what you pay for. And the problem is here's what I know. I get customers all the time that will go and buy the cheapest ceiling fan or the cheapest faucet there is. You know, that $39 faucet sounds pretty good right now. But then you're going to pay me $100 to put it in. Well, guess what? A year from now, that plastic that's thinner than a beer can, chrome, is going to start peeling off of it. Or it's going to start leaking. Then you got to pay me to come back and change it. So sometimes the cheapest price isn't the cheapest price. Because we didn't even keep Nolan Carroll and DeMontre Moore for a whole season. But you know what we got this season with them? We got $2 million on the cap in dead money for both of them. So the cheapest price definitely wasn't the cheapest price. We have a bunch of holes. We need a linebacker. I know Jalen Smith played great last year for a guy with one leg, but we need somebody that's stopping guys in the backfield that are not carried 3 or 4 yards. And I'm hoping that foot heals completely. Sean Lee, when healthy, one of the best linebackers in football. But you know we're going to lose him for a few games. B. Parker, I have to agree with you 100% because when you talk about the 40 times, and there's my buddy E2 Blue. How are we doing tonight, E.T.? E2?
What's going on, brother?
I have no picture of you tonight, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. Hold on. Give me a second.
Okay. That's my buddy. Oh, okay. I think he just hung up on it. E2 Blue.
I'm still here.
Oh, you're still there. Okay. How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man.
Well, B. Parker, I was just answering a question. There you are, my man. Was talking about the 40 times, and they don't really mean shit. I have to agree with you because very rarely, especially when you talk about offensive and defensive linemen, do you have guys that are running a 40-yard straight sprint. There's so much lateral movement side to side. It's really more of that short burst that's actually more important. That first step or two, because, you know, there's a lot of guys that are fast as can be but can't cut. And it's that lateral movement and being able to, you know, turn on a dime and stuff that's actually more important than just a straight 40 time. There's been guys who have bombed out and have been looking like slow as turtles in the 40s and end up being Hall of Famers. And there's guys who are running 4.2s, 4.3 40s that can't play football. I think the combine is a little overrated. Wouldn't you agree with that, my man?
Well, yeah, if you're going to be looking at any type of numbers in the combine, as far as wide receivers, you want to look at their shuttles.
Yeah, which is a much better indicator because having to do that side to side. Because football is, you know, you got people that are falling at your feet, so you've got to be able to get out of the way. You've got guys that are diving at your legs and things like that, and you're trying to, if you're a defensive end, you're trying to get that first step to get past that offensive lineman and being able to engage him, and so on. So it's not like you're running a 40-yard dash. It's not track and field. It's a great barometer to see how fast they are, but it's not the be-all, end-all.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you have for us tonight?
Man, I got your boy Deion Kane out of Clemson.
Uh-huh.
He's projected between the second and third round, depending on how the rest of the combine goes and
Right.
how the board goes. It depends on a need of a team, but he's definitely a speedster. He's about 6'2", 202 pounds. He has a pretty solid frame, kind of like how Dez is.
Mm-hmm.
He has a massive wingspan. He's got 33-inch arms.
Right.
And his hands are about 8 1/3 inch. So decent sized hands. Um, one knock on him, and I think Brian Broder said something about this that he had some drops. But the good thing about his drop work
Drops.
wasn't.
Man, we never have anybody in our team that has drops now.
I know, but his blocks is not because of his drops aren't because of ability. It's more of mental like concentration.
Uh-huh.
But that's something that that Sanjay Lau, if he does come, he can get him better on that.
Okay. All
And
right.
also, like I said, like Dez, he has the ability to battle the ball, and
Mm-hmm.
he can blow the top off the defense on the third level.
Okay. Well,
He's, he's,
one thing I heard that the Cowboys had 3 or 4 formal meetings with wide receivers, and I think 2 or 3
he's one of them.
informal. Yeah, and they definitely are looking at the wide receiver position, and that's where the big question is still Dez Bryant, man. I was just saying that Jerry Jones was saying he wants Dez Bryant back. To me, that means you are changing philosophy because it's not a matter of want Des Bryant. He's got a contract. It's not like he can go anywhere unless you do something different.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
I agree. And I mean, the whole thing with Dez is like it's tongue in cheek at this point. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Jerry's saying one thing, Steven's saying one thing. A lot of
Yeah.
people say it's like good cop, bad cop, but
Uh huh.
Stephen Jones going straight up.
Yeah.
You got to listen to Steven. You got to listen to Steven.
Well, I agree with you on that one, definitely. And Michael Irvin kind of went on a tear today and basically said that, stop this whole Des Bryant talk that, great wide receivers don't grow on trees like leaves.
Yeah,
If they
man.
were, everybody would be raking them in. And I was kind of like,
I mean,
but
wide
I'm
receivers
looking at
don't
the
grow.
numbers. You go through, say, a Bleacher Report, they're basically ranking him around 18th in the NFL. But yet his salary is second.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, a lot of that has to do with what the offense has been doing too.
True.
Because every team is different when it comes. A lot of teams that are run heavy, like the Cowboys are starting to be now.
Yeah.
It's not enough balls to go around. So a lot of times you can't look at the numbers solely and base that on the wide receiver performance. Now, what I wanted to mention too. I was listening to Brian Broaddus. He had they had Drew Pearson on.
Uh huh.
I was talking to Drew Pearson, and he was having his take on Dez Bryant and what he thought about him. And he was like, he basically said, give Dez another year
Mm-hmm.
uh, to see what he does. It's more on, like I said, what's going on with the team. And he says that he believes he's an 88, and he says that at 88 has the ability. He just needs to focus, and he needs to get his self condition better. And
But
another
I
thing
mean,
that Drew
that
Pearson
that
said
that
back in
that
his day,
that may be true. But the thing that that worries me though is this: when you start getting nagging injuries, they don't just stop. You know, if he's got chronic knee problems now. He had the tendonitis, he's got the ankle and things like that. The question is, will he ever be 100% healthy again? And that's the thing you have to ask. Because as you get older, it's harder and harder to stay healthy.
we also don't know the severity of the situation either,
Yeah,
because that we was never told that.
right. So yeah, that leaves a whole lot of question marks there. I mean, like I said, I'm hoping that Des Bryant can get back to where he used to be, but I'm just not sure that he ever will be able to. I've always been a fan of his, and want him to do well. Especially here, he's another one of those guys that you like to say, yeah, I'd love to see him get a ring with the Cowboys, but you just never know.
I mean, I just feel like he's not done yet. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you don't just drop in performance like that. I mean, Dez has been good. Nobody was complaining about him before. You know what I mean? Like
His performance has kind of dropped since that contract. And I'm not saying it's because of the contract, but he hasn't had a 1,000-yard season since that contract. And he's had a
I mean,
lot
some of
of
that some
injuries
of
in
that
him.
has to do with some of that also has to do with Tony Romo not being there and
True.
and, and
I'll give you
him
that
not
one.
being comfortable with Dak yet. That's why I said they need, and I've been talking about this. They need to get on point this off season.
Yeah,
Because, like I said, this year is make or break, not only for Dez, but Dak as well, because his contract's coming up soon, too.
yeah, this is true. Well, and yeah, he's got 2 years left on that contract with 25 million. Massive G, thank you very much for the super chat. You're in the drawing at 9:30. Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, I think they're gonna have to make a decision really in the next week. Next Monday really is when teams are able to start
Yeah,
talking to
I'm
free
curious.
agents.
I'm really curious to see what's going to happen because, I mean, honestly, I don't want Dez to leave. I want to see what he does with another year.
Hmm.
Uh,
I agree with you
I'm
on that one,
I'm a little nervous. I don't know what's going to happen.
but it's the contract is the bottom line. And the thing, we talked about this yesterday. You guys, we did a super chat. I mean, excuse me, we did a live stream yesterday here at the house, which was actually really cool because we had a bunch of us here together eating chicken wings and talking.
It was great.
And we had Law Nation joined in as well. And now I forgot what my train of thought was. Man, I'm getting old and forgetful. Um,
You were like me yesterday.
Jeez, I've literally just went blank, and that's not well. Actually, it happens all the time now that I'm old. But there was a point that we were talking about yesterday with Des. But the thing is, I'm worried about the team having too many holes. Oh, I know what the thing was. Would this situation that we are in with Des Bryant ever happen in New England?
No, because like we said, New England has their players 5, 6 years at the most, and they let them go
Hmm.
and they draft more. They have their core players, and then the rest of them they let go in free agency and they draft over and over again.
Right. And how many Super Bowls have they been in about the last 15 years?
Been in
Yeah,
about
been
8, right?
right. Yeah. And how many have we been in?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I'm just saying, because here's the thing, because there's going to be people there. There's already people that say I'm an ass because you're saying get rid of Des Bryant. Every time I talked about Tony Romo, it wasn't that I hated Tony Romo or anything like that. It was the realization of your best ability is your availability. I had concerns of Tony Romo ever being able to stay through a whole season again. And the
Yeah.
bottom line is the bottom line. Excuse me. And it's not about one or two players. It's about 53 guys that make a team. I look at our team
And
for
you gotta have depth. You gotta
right,
have depth.
and I look at our team, and we're forever over the cap. We're having to cut guys and things like that. We're always dealing with these big contract with guys and stuff, saying we can't, win without this guy. But yet, I look at New England, and generally speaking, they usually don't have about 4 or 5 guys that are Pro Bowlers. They never are over the cap. And yet
No,
they're
not at
good
all.
every year. So you have to wonder if what we're doing is the right thing, and if we continue to do it, isn't that the definition of insanity?
And then you also have to put in the factor that since they always have winning seasons, they never pick high in the draft either. So they're not getting
Ah,
necessarily the cream of the crop
but
right off the bat
here's
either.
what they do. They trade often with Cleveland.
Yeah,
So you're always, you get a fourth round pick. It's really a third round pick, when you're trading with
that's
Cleveland,
true.
and
That's true.
or they'll trade back and get more picks. You never see them up drafting, quarterbacks high in the draft or having, a top 10 pick because, well, they're New England, and somehow
But they win.
that seems to win, and it works, and it makes you wonder, maybe we need to change up a little bit to get a different result.
So it's funny because we can follow that all day, but
Hmm.
like I keep saying, it all comes down to the fact that the Cowboys are too conservative. If we don't
Right.
change our scheme, let's try that first. Let's switch it up. Let's switch these plays up. Let's be a little bit more creative. Let's
Right.
try that first, and
Yeah.
then we can't emulate other teams because we're too predictable.
That is one of the main things. Everybody wants to throw everything on Dak Prescott. I say there was a lot of different things. Shout out to Jackie. How are you doing tonight? 1, 2, 3. Hey, that somebody. Matt, Andrus, Victor, how are you doing? I expect to see you at the draft party there, buddy. You owe me because we were going to have a great video there in Minnesota, but you kind of ran out of time. Um, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I was trying to acknowledge some of our great fans that are in here. David Smith. Um, how much money are we paying these players not on our rosters this coming year? Well, yeah, talking about dead money.
We still
You,
paying Tony Romo.
well, right, $9 million to Tony Romo. Here's the good thing: it's basically only three players right now. It's Tony Romo for $9 million. It's 3 million. I'm sorry, $2 million to Nolan Carroll, and I believe it's $2 million to Cedric Thornton.
Gordon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've got $13 million. Now, going back to Dez,
Mm-mm.
another thing you could do is you could add another year to his contract to make it voidable. And you could end up spreading the 25 million over 3 years and give him a signing bonus, um, which would drop him about $8 million and give you some cap room. But then that just puts you on the hook for later.
I'm pretty sure if he's still on the team, that sounds like something that they would do.
Yeah, I mean that's one way around it, and you can look at it and say,
But
okay,
didn't they do that to Sean Lee too?
they did that to Jason Witten. I don't think they did that to
Oh,
Sean. It was
yeah,
Jason Witten. Basically, they added another year onto his contract, so that way, if he did retire, it wouldn't hurt us as far as the cap goes. And if he did stay, it didn't hurt us either way. So it was kind of like team friendly, and he kind of did that. You could do that with Dez and have him come back, and get that money now, and figuring, well, we're going to save $13 million next year, and the cap final number finally just came in. It raised up to 177.2, about million and a half less than what they thought it might go up to.
Mm.
So,
Well, like I said, they're going to be moving some money around. You're going to see that
moving
before
some
the
money around
15th.
or
So
getting rid of some players, that's
they
going to be
and
the
they
big question.
and they well they just officially franchised DeMarcus Lawrence. So
Right, yeah. So he's signed. So hopefully between now and July 17th, they'll get a long-term deal put in, so that way it'll reduce that cap number, give us a um, little breathing room. The last thing I want to talk about though is, man, tell everybody about the draft or bust tour that we're doing, man.
man, I'm telling you, you guys are going to love it. I mean, because I all day today I was just thinking about what we were talking about yesterday. Like, I mean, like I said, like Mark said, we're taking an RV down there. It's going to be what about 6 to 8 of us, I think, right now.
We got
Uh,
7 people right now,
After
but
bus, we're gonna be live streaming. We're gonna be eating wings, Joe Punch. I mean Mojo Punch. We're gonna be getting. And you guys, I want you, everybody that's on right now. You guys have got to tune in. This is something that you can't miss. I mean,
yeah, we literally
it's
because
gonna it's gonna be. We're gonna have basically a fan experience. So you guys, we're gonna include you guys in everything that we're doing.
well, not only that, basically you're going to have 24-hour coverage from the time we leave. I have that Mevo camera that all I have to do is have a cell phone signal. So while whoever's driving is driving, the rest of us are going to be talking about the draft and everything else. And who knows where we'll end up stopping on the way and what we might do. But it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Well, my man,
And if
go ahead.
and if we shout out and if we shout out your city on the way, send us a message, give you a shout out, let you know we in the area, and
There you
yeah.
go. Um, Jason thinks that Skandrick is gone. I think I have to agree with that much. Basically, we'll
I
save about three
I
and a half
agree.
million dollars right there. So that will be some change that we have.
Oh, let me quickly say
I-
something on that point.
Go ahead.
Uh, so if you look at what they're doing with Jones moving the cornerback, so
Yeah,
they're not going to move him and not make him a starter. So I'm assuming that I'm just based off of common sense. I'm thinking, okay, they got him, then they have uh, a weekday, and then they'll put Woods in the slot.
yeah. You got Lewis, and you also have Anthony Brown too.
I'm sorry, not Woods, Lewis. They'll put Lewis in the slot,
Yeah,
and then they'll um they'll rotate him and Xavier.
yeah. Jose, I agree with you. I think Crawford is gone because that's one of those ones where you look at and say, okay, he's $9.5 million. If you make him a June 1st cut, you save basically
That's it.
$8 million of it. And you kind of look at it and say, you know what? We can get Taco to take that place. Taco had 3 sacks. Crawford had 4, and Crawford played about twice the amount of snaps. That's one of those spots that can definitely get it. Any news on Hitchens? Well, technically the teams aren't allowed to talk to the players until next week. But Hitchens is a free agent, so they could only way you could do anything with Hitchens would be put a transitional tag, which you're not going to do because it would cost too much money.
He's
Is basically
unfortunately he's gonna be gone.
yeah, I think he's definitely going to go because it's going to end up being kind of like Church was last year. They wanted to bring him back, but what he was offered was just more than they could keep up with. But my man, tell everybody about your channel and where they can get you.
All right, my channel is E2 Blue. That's E number two, capital BLU, no E on the end of that. Entertainment. I got some videos. I'm gonna be doing some more this week, so come check me out, y'all. Subscribe to me.
That's right, man. Show him some love, man. He's out there working hard and checking out these players and stuff for me, and being an integral part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. And he's going to be with us on the draft tour. So thank you very much, John. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you on Friday.
I might have to what you
Record.
call it?
Okay, we'll get you
Yeah,
recording.
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, we don't have another storm like we did this past week that kind of messed that whole situation
Let's
up.
hope. Let's hope not.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. Okay, so we're actually a few minutes late here, but now, all of you people who have done super chats before and did donations before, you are still entered into our drawing, and we're going to do a drawing each show. And tonight, what we have is we have an original piece of the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It was some of the lettering that hung outside of it. I have several pieces of it, and we're going to continue to do some of those. We'll probably do some shirts later on, maybe some autographs. So, actually, Michael, can you come over and pick one out here? All right. Drum roll, please. Everybody, Michael Anthony Fitness is doing the honor. Kevon is a beast. I have to agree with you. Who do you got?
There you go.
Trent McShane. Trent McShane, okay? Hopefully, you're still watching the show. Trent McShane is our winner. I'll actually go ahead and post that on the site. I'll put a message on there. You actually are the brand new winner of a piece of history. The last place the Dallas Cowboys were Super Bowl champions were at Texas Stadium, 5-time Super Bowl champions. That's a piece of it from Trent Mache, and I appreciate all the support that you guys have done. If you didn't win tonight, don't worry. We're going to be doing one of these each time. We'll do another one for another piece of the stadium for Friday. So if you do a super chat for any amount, or if you end up doing a donation, you can go to my website, Cowboy Joe Boo. I need to start posting some more stuff on there. It's just hard to keep up. Go down to the bottom of the page. There's a donate button. You can click on that, and it goes right to PayPal. And the donations are going to be going towards the draft tour. And guys, when we did the tailgate party in Dallas, we went through 40 pounds of chicken wings. I'm betting. What do you think, Michael? 100 pounds?
Probably 100.
It's going to be 3 days of the draft, so I'm thinking it's going. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to need at least 100 pounds.
We had about 80 people there.
Right, we had 80 people for the Dallas Eagles game. I'm betting for the draft.
Before the game.
We're going to have to buy the liquor and buy the gallons. I don't know if they sell them by the barrel or not. But we'll see how that goes. But anyway, appreciate it. Again, Trent McShane. Congratulations to you. Now, next week is huge. Right now, teams are trying to figure out the direction that they want to go in. Do we want to try and get more draft picks and try and build through the draft? Or are we just a couple of players away that maybe if we tweak it, maybe make a trade here or sign a free agent there, that maybe we can get over the hump? If you're an NFL player right now that's a free agent, the drive is about 1,300 miles. If we were to drive straight through, it's about 20 hours. I've driven actually across the country. We ended up doing photo shoots for United Way and ended up going to 31 of the NFL markets, most of it by a vehicle. And so I think I drove over 14,000 miles. So driving to Dallas is no big deal because I tell you what, the adrenaline will be flowing, the excitement. I mean, it's going to be crazy. We are literally going to be live streaming the whole thing. With my Mevo camera, like I said, I can get a signal 24 hours a day. You guys will just be able to pop up at 3 o'clock in the morning and see what the heck we're doing at 3 o'clock in the morning on our way to Dallas. So it's going to be a great event. But back to teams' philosophies. We have been doing the same thing pretty much for 20 some odd years without a Super Bowl. I think we need a little bit of a change. And unfortunately, when the Cowboys have gotten burned, they go the complete other directions. For a while there, they were changing coaches every 3 years. Let's get them out here and bring somebody in. Now we got stuck on Jason Garrett now for the eighth year. Well, unfortunately, we've got him for the eighth year. That's not going to change this year, but I believe that he is on the hot seat. Jalen, well, I'll tell you what, Jalen, I'm actually going to have a smoker there, and I'm going to be doing some of my pulled pork as well. You're more than happy to bring anything that you want, but believe me, I love to cook, and I love to cook for people. So, believe me, all you got to do is basically show up and be ready to eat, drink, and have a good time. Um, when we look at free agency, well, Jonathan, I'm gonna thank Michael for you. He appreciates you subscribing to his channel. Um, when we ended up getting Brandon Carr, we thought we were getting a shutdown corner and paid him $55 million. He was good, but nothing that warranted $55 million. He never missed a game. He did everything he asked, and I think some of the problems he had were actually because of the system he was playing in. Our defense is that bend don't break. It's not that aggressive. How you doing tonight, my Cowboys family? Thanks for joining the show, man. Um, You can bring some you know what I'm talking about. If you want to bring some rigs, you can. Like I said, we're going to be there for 3 days, so maybe you can do a little potluck and stuff. But I'm planning on having everything I need there to do one hell of a tailgate. But we'll definitely have some more information as we get closer to this and things. I'll end up setting up like an email or a site that you can go through for updates and stuff on things. And if you want to do other stuff, right now the big thing is we found the RV that we believe we're going to have. It's a 33-foot, sleeps 8 people RV. So we'll get there, and it's got the awning that'll pop out. It's got the outdoor 32-inch TV. And then we're going to have the projection TV. So we're going to be able to be parking over at the stadium and set up and have a great time. So if you have tickets to go in and party a bit, come on back out, get some food, hang out with everybody else. So it'll be a great time. So the question is, we ended up getting Brandon Carr. You thought you had a shutdown corner, but, he was just consistent. He was just, a good cornerback. So they kind of said, free agency, maybe not so much. So then they got Greg Hardy. Thought that he was going to be an impact player. Yeah, he made an impact, just not a good one. Didn't have a bad season, but for the money that we were paying him, it was just too much drama. You want an RV. I tell you what, this may be the thing that makes me want to have an RV when we go in here, and maybe that ends up becoming the Jobu Mobile Man Cave. And there's my man John calling in. John, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm in. You see me?
Yes, we got you, and
Okay.
you've got you've got it turned the right way, man. Everybody, my man John G is in the house with us, and another one of the guys that was with me over here yesterday when we were having a ball, having some chicken wings, and planning for our road trip. So, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty well, man. We had a great time yesterday. Great time, man. More to come. More to come.
Before we get to you, Jackie, 100% agree about Zeke is quiet like a church mouse. The only thing you've really heard about Zeke is he was at a charity cancer event with his mother, and there was a spot where he was tackled into a swimming pool. Um, and the only other news, of course, is you've seen TMZ trying to rehash what they have and basically say that he is quiet this offseason because they actually talked to Lyle Collins and Tyron Smith. TMZ is reporting about him in a bar issue. Then that's a new one for me. And I'll be honest with you, if that's the case, I'm surprised it wouldn't be blowing up. So I'll hold off before I put anything on that one. Because guarantee, if anything happened with Zeke Elliott, it would be big news. Unlike Aldon Smith. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now I know. Did you hear anything about Alden Smith?
Yeah, man. I heard did the Raiders cut ties with him today after after the whole incident with him and his domestic violence issue.
Yeah, the police are looking for him. Actually, here's what I don't understand: Zeke Elliott got 6 game suspension and was never arrested for anything. How is it that Alden Smith still had any kind of an opportunity to still be in the NFL?
I have no idea.
After as many things that I mean, if you go through, I mean, it's a rap sheet that's a couple pages long.
You know what it is, man. If it don't got the star, then it don't make sense when it comes to the media.
Okay, yeah, you're right about that one because it seems like we keep hearing all this. Remember last weekend, or excuse me, not even last weekend, last week, Donahue from the Jets blew a .15 and drove the wrong way in the Lincoln Tunnel, hit a bus, and 4 people got hurt.
Wow.
Could you imagine if that had been anybody on the Dallas Cowboys? They
They tarred and feathered him.
They talked about that for a couple hours after the incident, and you haven't heard a damn thing about it.
Nope.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder: is there a conspiracy theory? And I may have to get my full hat out again because I believe the NFL
Absolutely, it's a conspiracy
probing
theory
me.
because at the end of the day, nobody makes the league money like Dallas Cowboys headlines. Period.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Dustin, you're right. Reuben Foster, nothing. Nothing.
Mm.
All off season, for that year, we kept hearing about the investigation that was going on, and so on and so on and so on. I ain't heard investigation. Have you heard the NFL doing any investigations, other than them saying that laundry was there wasn't enough evidence, and then that video came out of him.
Well, Zeke Elliott, they couldn't find anything, but they investigated until they could find what they wanted to find.
Yeah, well, so let me go ahead and get off of that before the Eagles fans out there start telling me that I'm basically just salty. So, what did you think about the combine?
You know what, man? I really enjoyed the combine. I paid attention to the combine this year more than I had in the years past. I enjoyed every position group. The DBs today, they ended it on a very strong note, man. Everybody ran really well today for the DBs, especially the safeties. The defensive linemen. I mean, there were a couple of people that didn't participate that I would have liked to see participate, but for the most part, man, I got to see the guys that I wanted to see, and they looked like they had fun, and they all went out there and competed.
Dallas Cowboys talk. Thank you very much for the super chat. You're entered too for our next drawing. I appreciate that. Well, here's the thing that I kind of took away from it. And again, I'm going to be honest. I did not see a lot of it. I've just been getting the highlights and things like that. But this draft to me doesn't seem real top heavy. It seems like you've got a few guys that are really, really good in the top half, that'll end up going. But for the most part, I don't think there's a big difference between, say, 15 and 30. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're not wrong at all. As a matter of fact, I always tell guys this, and that have been paying attention to the draft. This isn't really a top-heavy draft when it comes to the first round. You got a couple of guys that may be perennial All-Pros. What it makes a difference in this draft is it's loaded probably between rounds 2 to 5. I mean, completely loaded.
Right, yeah.
So when you hear guys say things like trade up or like give up picks,
no. If anything, I've always been of the philosophy that more picks are better, and trading up to me would make no sense. There is not one guy up there that you can say that we gotta get that's worth 2 guys because we have too many holes.
there's one guy.
Who?
I'm not gonna touch on him today, but there's one guy that I would.
One of your 261?
Yeah, one of my 261.
What position?
Safety.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, I look forward to hearing that one then. But what do you have for me tonight? I've been running off everything, but what you got?
Okay, so this guy is a lot of people when I say this, they're gonna flip their heads because we Lord knows we need another Garrett guy, but this guy reminds me of somebody special from Cowboys past. The guy that I'm talking about is Leighton Vander Esch from Boise State.
Oh yeah, I love him.
Yeah, so a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, not another Boise State guy," but in my opinion, he's one of the top linebackers in the nation, and the reason that he's probably not like one of your top 2 or 3 is because he's at Boise State. But I mean, when I look at his numbers compared to everybody else, he's a very sneaky good athlete, man. He
Mm-hmm.
ran a 4.65,
Right.
20 reps, surprisingly a 39.5-inch vertical. He finished in the top 5 with the shuttles, with both shuttles, like the 20 and the 60, which is very important to me because that's changed the direction. But when you watch this tape, you see that he's very good at eluding blockers,
Uh-huh.
getting blockers, and getting tackle. And 6'4", 256, I mean, 20 reps. I mean, I think that he could fit right in. He may not be a day one. I think that he might be a day one guy. You might be
Okay.
able to plug him in day one, and he might not be a difference maker day one, but
Uh-huh.
eventually during the year, he's going to be one of your top guys. And
Okay.
he's going to make a difference. I really like this kid.
Okay. Well, here's the thing that I'm sitting here thinking. Okay, we're 19th.
Uh-huh.
You know we're going to have a run on quarterbacks. 3 or 4 could possibly be first round draft picks. You agree with that?
Three, absolutely three. I'm not sure about the fourth.
Somebody could get desperate and try and move up to make sure they get them. I mean, yeah, you just okay. We'll say 3. Okay, that drops us down to about 16. You know, you're going to end up having some edge rushers are going to be going early. You know, a
Yeah.
couple of cornerbacks.
Yes, cornerbacks as well. There's probably maybe 2 or 3 cornerbacks.
Um, no, actually, Mike, I don't play Madden, but Michael actually does. Michael does Madden and actually has a Madden league. So check out Michael Anthony Fitness and stuff for that one. I'm too old and I don't have enough time to do Madden. Thing you have to understand is you have time. And you only have so much of it. So if you're going to try and be good at one thing, that means you're going to suck at another one. So I choose to suck at Madden and not even try. Okay, I'm just too old, man. A technology challenge. But I am sitting here thinking, as I look through the numbers and stuff, is it possible that Vita Vea or Calvin Ridley could drop to the Cowboys?
One of them will. One of them will.
I've really got a feeling that they'll have the opportunity for one of those two guys. Maybe I'm
Exactly.
crazy.
I mean, I have an opportunity for both.
Well, you can only take one.
Well, in the first round, but he might drop to us in the second round, the second one.
Nah, ain't nobody
No,
dropping.
but
Not,
no,
I don't want
not
to drop to
not unless they smoking some weed. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
about the
Mike,
only way
Mike
that they
got
can
to
drop to the
some
second
women
round.
to run for something.
Yeah, they're not going to go that far down, Michael. No, that won't happen.
One of them smoked some weed.
Um, but I really have a feeling that one of those guys go down. But again, I'm still on the whole bandwagon of I think the Cowboys need to get aggressive this year in free agency or trading.
I think that they need to get aggressive with at least one of the positions. Like I mean, like you have to get a top guy. Like none of this
Right.
Walmart basement bargain shopping. You
Well,
got to get one guy that is a solid starter.
look at it
One.
this way: between Nolan Carroll and Cedric Thornton, it's $4 million.
That's great
in
value
in
shop right
in
there.
dead money. Okay, we don't have a person on the roster, and we're paying $4 million because of those two free agents. You get what
Have
you
you ever
pay
seen
for.
Have you ever seen Bad Boys 2 when I think that when Will Smith's character he killed the guy and then Martin Lawrence said dead people don't say anything?
Yeah, you're right
Well,
about
dead
that.
money doesn't do anything on your roster. When
It does not. I see we still have the Eagle trolls in here. He says the Dallas Cowboys need a quarterback. You know what, Holy Ways? You might need a quarterback because there's no guarantees that Carson Wentz's knee is going to come back whole. Um,
Or Nick Foles is going to be on this.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody might trade for Nick Foles, and then what you gonna do?
well,
Um,
ask him this. Ask him ask him why our quarterback is 3-1 against their quarterback.
oh, wait! Did you hear that, Holy Ways? He said, "Why is it Dak Prescott has kicked Carson Wentz's ass 3 times and only lost once?" I'll be here waiting. Brian from Southern Cal, thank you very much for the super chat, buddy. Shaquem Griffin at 4
Shaquem Griffin. What in the fourth
in
round?
the 4th round.
I would get him. I would get him in the 4th round. Why not? He's
We
had one
got
hand his
hey,
whole life.
we got 2 picks there.
Exactly. Between him and the running back, I'm definitely getting a linebacker and a running back are definitely positions that we could get in the 4th round.
Well,
So why not?
and here's a different way you look at it too, because some guys have it easy. Some guys are just naturally gifted and they don't have to try hard and they just are there. But a guy who has problems has got to work that much harder to get there. He may have a disability, but I guarantee you he has made up for it for busting his ass to make sure that he's there because he's fighting the stereotypes. Now, see, I know that from working here, I suck at technology. I'm old. I'm a name butcher and everything else, but I work my ass off to try and make up for it. And maybe that's what that guy is. Because how many times you had guys that, you didn't think were even going to make it, in the draft, 7th round pick and things like that, or a 6th round quarterback and stuff, and you looked at him and said, damn, is that the ball boy trying out? And they end up winning 5 Super Bowls. It's the
True.
guys sometimes that end up not having it all just given to them that have to earn it. And that's the kind of guys that I kind of like. There's something about guys that just come into camp and know I'm a starter. They don't seem to work that hard anymore. I like a guy who has to fight to get there.
You mean like a Jesse Holley when we had him? Because I really like Jesse Holley.
I did like Jesse too. Yeah. He didn't have the natural gifts that everybody else had, but he worked his ass off.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I think we need. So we don't have too much time left. Let's go on our weekly Jason Garrett rant.
Okay.
Okay. How do you feel about Jason Garrett saying that Dak Prescott needs to get better in all phases?
I think that he needs to get better at all phases. And if you feel that Dak needs to get better at all phases, maybe your coaching staff, well, I mean, they did address it, but maybe you and your coaching staff need to get better at getting him ready at getting better at all phases.
Yeah. I could definitely agree with that one.
Or how about this?
Uh-oh.
Maybe, how about you? How do I say it? Like we were talking about this the other day when you said something about either you're staying the same or you're getting better. How about he work at getting himself better?
There you go.
Oh.
I can't disagree with that one at all. Keith Shep, I hope I didn't butcher that up. I appreciate the super chat, and I'm hoping we'll be able to see you at the draft. You're entered into our next drawing. Mr. ESPN, he's right there with, okay. Hollyway said we split the season 2 years in a row. Well, actually, I think he is right about that. So he's 2-2.
Oh yeah. He might be. Yeah, he's right. 2-2.
Oh, okay. You stumped the man. Okay, all right, you got him.
Yeah.
The Eagles fans are watching The Notebook right now. Okay. My blood pressure is riding. I need a good clap. Okay. We'll do the Jason Garrett. Okay. But here's the thing. We talked about this yesterday. How do you feel about next year?
How do I feel? I feel very good about next year, but it's all dependent on the next couple of weeks and how we handle things. We talked about it, like if we get aggressive in signing a free agent that's actually going to come in and become a difference maker as far as a starter, not bargain basement shopping, that'll put us in the right direction. And then this draft, I mean, I told you, rounds 2 through 5, man, if we can get the right pieces, we can hit the needs and also get guys that are going to come in, not only fit a need, but they're going to make a difference. I think that we can get right back on the horse because I don't think we were far off the horse last year, personally.
Somebody, Mr. ESPN is saying that the Seahawks are asking for a 2nd and 3rd for Earl Thomas, which I haven't seen that yet. And again, I've been getting ready for the show because it takes a while to get all this stuff hooked up when you're technology challenged. Originally, they were talking about, we weren't going to get rid of him. We'd have to be wowed on an offer. If they're saying now a 2nd and 3rd is what we're looking for, that's come a ways down. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, but also, I mean, they're going to always ask for a little bit higher at this point right now,
Thank you.
especially coming closer to the draft. But you never know what's going to happen when it's 2 minutes to go and you're sweating. Like you don't know what kind of deals you're going to take.
Right. Well, here's okay. Here's the way I preface it, because when draft picks are precious, and you don't want to waste them. But when we go through our third round draft picks since 2010, two times we didn't have one. We ended up getting Lewis this past year, which that was a good one. Chaz Green was one of them.
Bust.
Collins, Malik Collins was one. You got
That's a good one.
We got a good year out of him. Tyrone Crawford was another one.
We had a good first contract out of him.
And I'm trying to think who. Oh, DeMarco Murray. I think DeMarco Murray was the other one. So basically, if we give up a third round draft pick, that's kind of what we're giving up. In your mind, is that worth it?
Yes, it is because he's going to start, and you just named three pretty much starters, and I think that Earl Thomas is obviously he's going to be that.
Well, see, to me, if you get that guy, that opens the draft up so much more. You don't know who's going to fall to you. And if you can say, okay, we don't have to worry about a safety and stuff like that, you can literally start saying we can go for the best player available, be it, a Vita Vea, a Calvin Ridley, whatever. And I still believe if the Jets don't sign him to a contract, you make a move for my buddy, Demario Davis, for middle linebacker.
Yeah, you got to do it. Well, I mean, I keep telling you, man, you got to hit up Broadus, man. You got to let them know. You got to put the word in, man. That way, when it happens, we can give you the credit for it.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, okay. The Cowboys aren't going to spend that money.
Yeah.
As
You and I
much,
both know it.
as much as I, because, but in my mind, it's like this. If you're saying Jason Garrett, if you are Jerry Jones and you're saying Jason Garrett is my guy and I want to prove that he is the guy that I picked and how smart I am, you got to give him the tools to go ahead and succeed. And the tools are you need, I believe you said it, you got to control the middle of the field.
Yes.
Okay? You can't put Sean Lee in the middle anymore. He can't hold up.
Well, you know what? I'm going to call out Stephen Jones right now. I'm going to do something that nobody has done.
Joe Boo
Yeah, I'm going
Sports
to call out
Report
Stephen
first
Jones
here.
because at the end of the day, yes, I mean, we're in a position where we have a little bit of money to spend, but this is where it calls for him to actually have some cojones at this point. Like, we can't play it safe all the time.
Right.
Because as much as I hate the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they took a couple of risks. And it paid off. At some point, you got to take a risk or two. And we can't just play it conservative or else we're going to keep being where we are. At some point, where it's the guy, when it's a guy that can put you over, you got to go ahead and take a risk. And if we're not taking a risk, what are we doing?
You're preaching to the choir, my man. But with that being said, we're actually in overtime right now, and it's amazing how fast the time goes through. Before I get off of here, I got two things I got to do. My man, I appreciate you and all the hard work that you're putting in, and I can't wait to hear about this player that you think could be the one. But tell everybody how to get where your channel is and everything else about it.
Yeah, you guys can follow me, find me at DMV Dallas Cowboys on YouTube. You guys will like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing lately. A lot of the guys that you've probably been following in the draft, I've been doing a lot of stuff as far as highlighting them at the combine and doing videos and chop ups and stuff like that. So, yeah, follow me, DMV Dallas Cowboys, and I look forward to seeing you guys.
Well, one last question for you. We were talking about the draft, and I know you just started a new job and getting time off. Are you going to try and make that flight down there and join us down at the draft?
Man, I just need to know how committed everybody is, which I'm pretty sure you guys are, and I almost booked the flight today. So,
Dude, I'm in negotiations on the RV right now. I have announced it. Look, I'm giving away pieces of the Dallas Cowboys history here to help raise funds for this thing. I have literally been talking to. Oh, and there's I got one other announcement. I'm sorry, we're going to overtime here. Jobu Sports Report, if you are sick and tired of it, then you're going to hate this news because we're expanding our reach even more. We're already a part of Fandom. My man Ari, who's with ESPN in San Antonio, runs that site on Facebook. We are also now part of Dallas Cowboys Legacy along with Law Nation, who they're going to end up being part of this whole experience that we're doing. We are spreading out. So if you're sick and tired of the Jobu Sports Report, sorry, you're going to get even sicker. So
Tough titties.
So it's on, man. It is on like Donkey Kong. There is no turning back right now. We are headed to Dallas for the draft. Man, VZP, I appreciate it. One last thing, Michael Anthony right over here, who's been instrumental in letting me know about any breaking news. Michael, come over here and tell everybody about your channel. And are you going to the draft or bust tour?
Oh, I'm going.
Okay, so
Okay.
Michael said he's going to be on there too. Okay, man. Don't worry about that. Man, I don't even have that mic turned on, man. Okay, just talking to the mic. Just pop your head over a little bit. Okay. Damn, just coming over and messing up the set.
Can't.
You get bonus coverage today.
Bonus coverage.
Okay. All right. So Michael, tell everybody real quick about your channel and where they can find you.
Oh, you can find me on Michael Anthony Fitness, and right after the live stream, we're going to go on and do the practice. Not a game, but a practice with the Jaguars to get prepared for the New England Patriots preseason game. So hopefully I'll see y'all over on the Michael Anthony Fitness channel. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell so you'll be notified when I get on, and I'll see you guys soon.
Okay. He's talking about Madden practice. Not a game now.
Practice, it's
We're
practice.
talking about practice.
Practice.
But on Wednesday night, we will be doing the actual game. So make sure
Okay.
y'all tune in on Wednesday.
And actually, on Wednesday night, I think I'm actually live streaming in with Dallas Cowboy Legacy's site, and joining some other people doing a roundtable. So, again, guys, got a little extra bonus coverage. There's just too much stuff to get in here. But I got to tell you, I look forward to talking to you guys each and every day because I feel like I've got hundreds of friends that I got to talk to about what else, my Dallas Cowboys. Thank you, John. Thank you, E2 Blue, and thank each and every one of you guys for being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Now, if I can get this damn mouse onto the other screen, we can end this show. Okay, let's see if it'll go. Where is it? The mouse is not. I've got two screens, and sometimes the mouse wants to act retarded and won't go over to the other side. Okay. So you're getting bonus coverage.
Bonus.
I don't even see it.
It's right here, and it's not going over to the other screen. So we made trash doing two screens over here.
Yeah, it went over.
Did it go? Okay, there it goes.
You have to go to
Guys,
the bottom corner.
thank you as always for being part of the Jobu Sports Report. And one of these days, I'm going to do a perfect show, and then I can drop the mic and die. See you soon.